Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we take a look at the astrological energies from July 20th until July 27th, as we're going to see the Sun enter Leo on July 22nd. We also have Uranus conjunct the North Node at 18 degrees of Taurus now, and we have an active Mercury over this next week. So we will be discussing all of that and more as we journey through the second half of July, which feels like confirmation of the timeline changes we've moved through and how the energies have accelerated, meaning it certainly feels like time has sped up, that we are moving through energies faster. And this is in fact a confirmation of the energies that have been cleared out. Because when the energies are lighter and clearer, then there is an easier flow, more grace, more openings, and also a sense of acceleration. So that certainly feels like the energy stream we are in, and it's going to continue as Uranus is conjunct the North Node in Taurus at 18 degrees. Now, Uranus is an accelerator. It quickens the energies. It adds in a new ingredient, if you will, that essentially shows us where things are ready to move ahead at lightning speed. And this is why there is also that feeling of things collapsing, breaking down, falling apart rather quickly as well, because of that Uranus consciousness that comes in, breaks things up, reveals more of what we're working with, of what we have to work with, and then also brings in fast developments, fresh energies, liberation from anything that you were stuck in, or even where the energies felt stagnant. Uranus is that lightning strike that breaks up the cement, that breaks up the earth, the ground in Taurus, and shows us what is not strong enough, what isn't needed, where there is a desire at a universal level for an energetic changeover. So this can be quite jolting, and it can be something you feel energetically, especially in your nervous system, or especially in your mind and what you're perceiving, where you could have some flashes of insight or something coming through that maybe even shakes you to the core. And this can be a good thing, by the way. This can be a beneficial understanding where you're seeing something in yourself, in your life, in your journey that is awakening you to more of what you didn't see before. And I actually feel like this energy increases in its tempo and in its frequency as we move into August. And that's because of a few more developments that occur in August, including how Mars gets to the same degree point in Taurus, August 1st and 2nd. Mars brings in more of this powerful energy of action, reaction, what you want, desire, where the energies need to be released. Mars being a personal planet connected to masculine energy, connected to physical energy, connected to how you go for what you want. This can bring in something very intense that you feel has been building up. And when Mars enters the conversation, there's a need for a release. There's a need to do something about it, to really make it happen, make changes. And this is energy, again, that's picking up and comes alive August 1st and 2nd. Then in August, we have a very dynamic Aquarius full moon at 19 degrees. That's on August 11th at 19 degrees of Aquarius. And it is essentially creating a fixed grand cross with the energy of Uranus and the North Node in Taurus, the South Node in Scorpio, the Sun in Leo, and the Moon conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. So that is around, again, August 11th. So I feel like the energy we're in, it's going to continue to open up, reveal more, unravel. This is where things can fall apart and come undone really quickly. This is also where you feel inspiration to move something ahead quickly as well. A lot of this energy signature is about movement and developments. It's also revealing perhaps what's been waiting for us to realize or understand. And I feel too, like as we move into August, there are things that we're releasing ourselves from. We're stepping out or stepping away from maybe some of those responsibilities, commitments, tasks, things we've been working through or holding on to. This is the universe coming in and wanting you to experience some type of freedom. Freedom from perhaps something in your world, in your life, in yourself. It could even be freedom from anywhere that you've been too limited mentally, consciously, energetically, because that Taurus energy likes consistency and is associated with what we rely on a daily basis. Now the universe comes through and breaks that up and shows you where there's more energies that can come in, and that can feel like freedom. And it can also feel like overwhelming change or developments that seem really big, and what do you do with it? So overall, these are big energetic downloads that we're working with, and we are learning to manage it as we go. One of the supportive energy signatures at this time is that these planets in Taurus are ruled by Venus, and Venus is in Cancer, where she is softer, kinder, more receptive, and able to feel into energies to discern what is correct for her. So this is a lovely feminine, softening energy that perhaps is showing you that you will need a quiet place to retract to. That Venus in Cancer, she wants to go home. She wants to sit on her favorite couch. She wants something cozy and nurturing to support her energy. So this could be a good time to really look at what you need to soften, to relax, to have a place that you retreat to that gives you comfort, or at least allows you to be in what you're feeling and to take care of yourself. And this can simply be energetic management, emotional management, really understanding more of what's happening within you. But this Venus in Cancer needs that place to go away from the rest of the world, or away from other energies that she feels are too intrusive. So this could be something to keep in mind, that as the energies feel big, perhaps overwhelming, where do you go to take care of your heart, to take care of your needs, to calm down your nervous system and give yourself a place to relax? The sun finishes up its journey in Cancer and then enters Leo on July 22nd at 4:06 p.m. That's Eastern time. And the transition from Cancer to Leo is one that helps us strengthen our energy fields. So the sun in Cancer is feminine, open, receptive. It's an energy of tuning in to what's happening within you, to really feel it out and move through some things, and to understand what you need. And that's one of the gifts of Cancer, is getting in touch with what do you need. Then the sun moves into Leo, and every astrological sign is very different than the sign before it and after it. And there's this beautiful harmony in the zodiac about these evolving energies. As we move from a feminine energy into a masculine sign, and then masculine into feminine, there's always that alternating energy. Now what we're doing is we're entering into the masculine energy of Leo that is connecting you with your solar plexus, your courage, your confidence, and asking you to be much clearer in your light. When the sun moves into Leo, it's at its brightest. The sun is at home in Leo, and Leo is the energy of your creativity, your self-expression, how you're getting stronger in who you really are in this lifetime, how you're allowing your light to shine and be seen, and perhaps looking at where there's also room for growth, where you're learning to trust your own light and you're learning to trust what that means to connect with the life force of the sun. So the sun in Leo has a direct connection to the sun's neutrinos, to the strength of the sun's life force. And that is where we are encouraged to understand that we are that life force as well. And how do you own it? How do you step into it? Wherever you have Leo in your astrology chart is where you're here to share and exemplify those energies, and where you're also connecting with more of your own self-confidence. Now, I have always found Leo to be an interesting sign because it is the second fire sign in the zodiac, but it's also the first sign after the sun has moved through the other four elements. So the sun moves through Aries, fire, then the sun moves into Taurus, earth, then the sun moves into Gemini, air, then the sun moves into Cancer, water. So the first four signs of the zodiac are the first four elemental expressions. So that means we've just had a recent 4-month journey through each of the four elements. Then the sun enters its home sign of Leo, enters into its second fire sign expression, and asks you, what are you doing to basically bring together these four other elements into your conscious self-expression and personal knowingness? Because that Leo energy wants you to be strong in your energy field, but there's also been a journey of learning about yourself that has perhaps brought about some clarity, helped you understand your strengths, what you're good at, what you enjoy. Leo can be very playful, wants to have fun, wants to take a risk, try something new, wants to understand more of what its energy is capable of. But it's after understanding how your energy has moved through each of those previous four elements that provides that clarity. And this is where the astrological wheel is a beautiful system of progression, where you can take what you've learned or what has been coming up for you and understand if it connects, if it's true for you. Does it fortify you? Does it support that solar plexus energy? Does it connect with what you want and what your light is? Does it support you in who you are? So this is one way that the sun in Leo is very strong, because now you've had experiences that have shown you yes or no, true or false, what stays, what goes. And now you're being asked to stand in that power and that sense of yourself. And Leo being a fixed sign is also where you stabilize yourself, where you understand what is true for you and to really feel clear in that energy in yourself, regardless of what others may think or say. And also, you can think of these astrological signs through what they highlight between their oppositional sign. So, for example, we can think of Leo as the entertainer, the performer, the parts of ourselves that want to express who we are and put it out there. And the opposite astrological sign of Aquarius is the group, the collective, the audience, is the others, is those who are receiving or experiencing that energy on the other side. So during Leo season, the universe is asking you to reconnect with your gifts, your creativity, your playfulness, to understand also how your inner child has evolved. And Leo is also about connecting with the strength of your desires, of your heart, what you love, what you enjoy, what gives you life. And so when we look at this energy that comes after Cancer, Cancer being, again, the feminine energy, being receptive, more emotional, more in tune with the ebbs and flows of the universe. There were probably some insights that came through or came up around how you're ready to care for yourself differently, maybe more about your needs, more about what matters to you right now. It's that softer energy. And then as the energy moves into Leo, there's a strengthening of what that is in your heart. So Cancer and Leo are both associated with the heart, but from different perspectives and different understandings, especially if you consider that Cancer is the feminine, Leo is the masculine. There can be a yin-yang energy there. There can also be a sense of whatever that Cancer energy didn't feel good about or didn't give life to or didn't trust, then the Leo energy comes through and reminds you of your power, your strength, what you can create with it, and to stand strong in what you do need, to stand strong in what you do want. So that Leo energy, again, it's strengthening. And that can help with any vulnerabilities that perhaps came up during Cancer season, where you move that experience of vulnerability into a new expression of courage. The courage to understand what you need, the courage to feel stronger in the heart, in your personal world, in what you've learned about yourself. So this is where the Leo energy will bring things alive for you that maybe you were afraid to trust or didn't know if it was true for you. That Sun in Leo brings clarity because it's a very bright spotlight. It's literally when the sun is shining its brightest. And that's what you could work with during this Leo season, is to look at what is coming through that the universe is shining a spotlight on. The universe is revealing to you, wants you to be aware of this part of yourself. You know, what brings you life, but also what makes you happy. What gives you a sense of joy in life? What gives you a sense of, this is me, this is how I want to be in the world? Because those energies are very strong. Now, we also have Mercury in Leo at this time, and Mercury in Leo is going to be interacting with Jupiter, Mars, and Chiron over this next week. And this Mercury in Leo has things to say, wants to be heard, also wants to be respected and taken seriously, even though Mercury in Leo can be the performer and can be wonderful at public speaking, at saying things, putting it out there, doing so with a particular force as well. That Mercury in Leo also can be one that wants to make you smile, bring you joy, offer you something that is perhaps clever or entertaining. Now, Mercury in Leo also likes to have fun. And on July 23rd, Mercury in Leo is going to trine Jupiter in Aries at 8 degrees. And this can be great for anything that you enjoy, that you want to take a risk on. This is the energy of going for it. There's something expansive here. This could be a good day for announcements, conversations, projects, good news. There's a very uplifting energy signature when Mercury trines Jupiter in Aries. You could feel new plans are coming together. There could be things coming up that are just a clear yes, because this is a very yes energy, and it can be uplifting. It can be like you have an idea and you know what to do with it. You know where to take it next. Jupiter in Aries brings in the expansion, the connections, the resources, the invitations. So there's a happiness factor here with this Mercury in Leo trining Jupiter in Aries at 8 degrees. Again, that's on July 23rd. Then on July 24th, Venus in Cancer squares that same Jupiter in Aries at 8 degrees. And Venus in Cancer, she could have that energy of, oh, I did too much and now I really need to rest. Almost like you have too much fun and then you need a day on the couch. Or you've overextended your energy and you want to retract. Venus in Cancer is more of a homebody and wants to, again, retreat and stay in her comfort zone, like I mentioned previously in the podcast. But the square to Jupiter in Aries means there might be something she doesn't want to miss out on. So there could be a FOMO situation here, or there could be something coming up where you're pushing and pulling between your energy. Should I do it? Should I not? Should I go for it? Should I stay home? And this is where you simply trust what's best for your energy. You tap into what is good for you at this time, what does feel correct, and where you have energy. Keep in mind, in this podcast, I talk about the general energies, the overall broad strokes of what we're experiencing, but then it will connect with you differently. It will connect with what you're experiencing based on your own individual chart. So for all the ways someone could decide they want to stay home, another person could say, no, I'm going to go for it. I want to try this. So this is going to be a time when the energies feel quite active, meaning you could have a sense of there's a lot going on all of a sudden, and I have to be very clear in what I want to participate in and where I want to show up. Then on July 26th and 27th, that Mercury in Leo will square Mars in Taurus at 14 degrees, and then trine Chiron retrograde in Aries at 16 degrees. So Mercury in Leo is going to have a little bit of a spat or a disagreement with Mars and Taurus. They are both stubborn energies. They both want to stick to their own path, their own plan, their own ideas. So there isn't going to be a lot of leverage when Mercury in Leo squares Mars in Taurus on July 26th, meaning it's not a good day for resolutions or even finding common ground. It's probably going to be even conversations that maybe escalate, where people become more stubborn or they just don't want to budge. So just a heads up on that. And then the energy does flow again the next day, July 27th, when Mercury trines Chiron retrograde in Aries. And there's a sense of, okay, yes, I can do that. There's a sense of, what am I fighting for? What's it really about? Am I too much in my ego? Am I too much in only what I want in a limited perspective? And maybe it's okay to give a little, to let this go, to not get tangled up in knots about it. So later on, when Mercury trines Chiron, there's a sense of maybe it's not such a big deal, and this is what I can do instead. Now, that doesn't mean everything gets resolved, but it does mean the energy starts to flow again. And this is good because also coming up the end of this month, we have the Leo new moon on July 28th. And at that time, Mercury in Leo is going to square Uranus and Taurus and the North Node, as well as square the South Node. And then Mercury in Leo is going to oppose Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. So over the last few days of July, actually, let's just call it the last 5 days, perhaps even the last week, there's going to be a lot of information coming out, surprising, unexpected. What do I do with this? How do I work with this? I didn't think of that solution before. I didn't see that possibility before. Mercury in Leo has a wild ride through the end of July. So there's going to be information and developments coming in that, again, could be surprising or catch you off guard. But I feel like this is where the energy is also breaking something apart or breaking through. And when I think of Mercury in Leo, this can be the energy of really being fixated only on yourself, only on your own thoughts, your own world, your own ideas, kind of that very limited egocentric perspective that the universe is breaking apart and wanting you to see more, see bigger, see it from a different vantage point. So how well do you work with other perceptions, other creative ideas, or even the sense of feeling challenged, feeling like someone is taking a stand against your ideas, and how that can feel personal when in fact they're simply expressing their own mind, their own ideas, and it's not personal. So there's an energy this week of looking at, what am I holding on to? But what can I allow there to be some room and space for it to continue to grow and develop, even in ways I'm not planning or I can't see coming? Now, I realize that can also trigger the fear body and the nervous system, where a part of you is like, oh no, what's going to happen? That's not the frequency that I'm speaking from. But I understand that's where people can go with this, because with the fixed signs, and we have a lot of fixed energy right now, by the way, especially when we'll have the Sun in Leo, Mercury in Leo, Mars, Uranus, and the North Node in Taurus, Saturn in Aquarius, South Node in Scorpio. The fixed energies can be very tight. There can be a tightness in what we're holding on to or gripping. There can be a tightness that can also be a form of boundaries, or saying, I'm not going to let anything in. But that tightness, I feel like we need to be conscious of it and ease it up so that it isn't a locked energy. It's almost like that remembrance of how we're designed to be open to life, open to new energies, and not shut down or locked down from them. So with the strong fixed energies at the end of July, you may want to observe yourself if your energy is tight, where it's tight. Simply check your jaw. Simply check if you've been clutching your teeth or if your shoulders have been really tight. And just look at where you've been holding energy unconsciously, because I feel like what we're learning is how to stay open even while we stay strong, to not be too rigid, and to, again, work with a life force, work with the energies around us without thinking you have to only have things a certain way. Because the universe is actually showing us that what we thought or assumed would always stay the same is changing in a very big way, in a very significant way. And this affects us at an individual level. This is actually working with us at a cellular level, changing us, evolving us, revealing more of our own potential, but in new territory. This is new territory that we're in, especially with Uranus and the North Node together at 18 degrees. So these are new developments, and that's why it can feel shocking at first, especially if your energy has been really tight and rigid, or if there's anything you've been resisting. Because what I'm feeling so strongly is that you've already had clues, messages, information, whispers coming in about something that's going to change in your world. And it's like the universe has been giving you signs or signals. The universe has been speaking to you because of where you're at in your own consciousness, where you can receive those messages, you can receive those insights. And now the universe is saying, okay, now it's landing in the physical, where the energies always start out there in the ethers, at least through our perception, the ethers. And then the energy increases and starts to take form, which is actually a requirement of being in the 3D. Because in the 5D and beyond, there is no form in the ways that there are in the 3D. So for something to come into our 3D reality, it has to take a certain shape or form in order for us to see it, in order for us to physically identify it. And so here we've been having these whispers and clues and messages and insights coming through where the universe has been giving you a heads up on something. It has absolutely been speaking to you, but whether or not we receive it, digest it, work with it is another thing. And so now is the time when these changes are landing in the physical world. And that's where you'll also understand how much of a shock it is. Because I feel like for many people, you're going to be, oh, I knew that was coming, or I could feel something coming. There's also been this anticipatory energy of change, which of course works with our nervous system, gets our minds going, our monkey minds going. It can activate the fear body. But what we're meant to do is calm it down, sink into trust, sink into the flow of life. Remember that we are made to move through changes. We are designed to move with the ebb and flows of life, to keep going, to have the fortitude to keep showing up. So the changes that are unfolding are beautifully timed, everything being right on time from a divine perspective. And I feel like we have been energetically prepared for changes. And we've been working with changes our whole life, not to mention the intensity of the changes we've moved through in the past 2 to 3 years. So more changes coming through. And this is something where you're going to feel and sense what is correct for you, because this energy wants you to stand in your self-love, your self-worth, the energy of understanding your own strength, your own power, and that these are new level energies coming in. I feel these are very powerful, strong neutrinos coming from the sun, the new solar rays and light codes and energies from the sun, which again increase during the sun's transit through Leo. And then we have this very strong Taurus energy of understanding what you value in your life. Meaning, when you think of building and living a life that's true for you, what does that include? And what does that not include? What are your core values? Because there's something about this energy that is taking you to the core of something in yourself that you're meant to truly value, trust, and step into. There's a new level of self-ownership here, meaning you can see through your own life experiences what matters to you now, how you want to live your life, how you want to show up, what brings you joy, what brings you peace, what feels good to you at a soul level. And essentially, how do you want to design your life in a way that deeply resonates with you at a core level? How do you want to design and live your life in a way that deeply resonates with you at a core level? And for all the ways we have to be on autopilot, for all the commitments and responsibilities that we need to take care of, the universe is bringing your attention back to yourself. And that is something too that comes through with the strong Taurus and strong Leo energies, is that is returning the energy to who you are and how you show up. There's also this energetic frequency occurring around what has been holding you back. Where have you been holding yourself back? Which we experience through many times in our lives, right? Like anytime we're ready to step out of a comfort zone or to level up, to do something new, to do something different, of course, there's things that come up, the uncertainty, the unknowns, what if, what about that, even going into worst case scenarios. All of that is very much a part of the human experience. Those are the energies of our mind wanting to keep us safe. Our ego wanting to keep us safe. So if you can see these types of questions and inquiries and fears coming up, that's just a part of you wanting you to stay safe, not wanting you to be in fear, not wanting you to be overreactive or staying too focused on potentials, but it's understanding, okay, this is the part of me that just wants me to be safe. I love this part of me. I am grateful for this part of me. This is also the part of my mind and my ego that doesn't want me to repeat hard experiences or bad things. This is the part of me that's just on alert. And I think during these times we can feel like we're on hyper alert. And hyper is definitely a Uranus energy where things are just pulsing and moving, and it can be difficult to calm it down. So it's looking at how you are energetically managing yourself, but this is knowing big changes are happening individually and collectively. And if you can see how there's parts of your energy that just want you to be safe, remind you that you're capable, remind you you will always figure it out. You will always know what's best for you or what to do next, even as changes unfold or even as you move through this energy of uncertainty in some regard. And for the most part, I'm seeing this energy as beneficial, expansive. Again, freedom, liberating yourself from something, liberating yourself from your own limits, taking a risk on who you are. That's strongly supported at this time with the strong Leo energies, and then Uranus also being strong into August. There's something here that you're ready to do on your own. Break out of it, go your own way. I think of Uranus as the energy of the entrepreneur, the one who's like, you know what, I'm done with these other systems and being a part of someone else's organization. I'm going to do it on my own. So there's the energy here of looking at what are you ready to do on your own to break out of the cage or the fears, the worries, the limitations that have only been a perception. Because I feel like the energy has spiraled up. You could feel that you're above your fears in some way. Even if 6 months ago, let's say, there was something that was really intense for you or really big or something that was really in your mind and really kind of had you captive. This is an energy of being done with it, of no longer needing it, no longer wanting it. And there's something supportive coming through where the universe is asking you to be strong in yourself, but don't be too rigid at the same time. So there's something about figuring out that energy for yourself where you can be strong or even strengthening the core values, the core desires, your core sense of self is being strengthened, which means other things have to fall away. Other things are over, no longer resonates, you don't care, you don't want it in your life, or you just don't want it in yourself. There's something in yourself that you don't want to take forward. You don't want to keep staying in the same cycle. You don't want to keep jogging on that same energy treadmill. You want something new and different. And keep in mind, because this energy is so big, you're going to see it in the world around you. You're going to see it at work. You're going to see it in your family, with your friends, with others in your world. People are going to be making big announcements. They're going to say, I'm moving over here. I'm going on this trip. I'm leaving this job. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to reinvent my life. I'm going to do things in a whole new way. And so on and so forth, because there's so many ways this energy can be expressed, but it's going to be quite big, and it's something that we're all feeling individually and collectively. This energy signature has a boldness to it where you could be ready to take a risk on being yourself more than ever before. Whatever that might mean to you at this time, there is this push from the universe that wants us to step into new parts of ourselves. And this is where, again, we're going to be experiencing this and seeing this in others. And it's going to have this reverberation to it where energies are rippling and they're getting bigger and they're interacting with each other and moving back and forth. And so it's a very dynamic energy stream that lasts into August. And in fact, it has the eclipse energy signature in it. This is not an eclipse, but it has that dynamic imprint where something could be rebellious, revolutionary, revelatory, exciting. So there are going to be many ways, of course, that this plays out. But when we bring it back into our individual energies, it's looking at what parts of yourself are you ready to bust through? Where are you ready to be more of yourself and trust that. Allow that to guide you forward. Now, it's also important to note that with this strong Leo energy, there can be an unconscious habit of being too self-focused or too self-involved to the point where you're not understanding other people's perspectives or needs. Some of the lower expressions of Leo can be that you're taking everything as it relates to your own ego, meaning it can be very egocentric. You can have a limited perception in what others are saying or doing, and you could take it as something about you. Now, typically Leo isn't known as being sensitive, but there's an energy here of understanding that there's so many opinions, directions, ideas, everything in the world. It's not about you. What others are choosing is not about you. What others are saying or what they're doing, it's not about you. It's about what they are moving through, what they've experienced. And to look at where you have ego reactions or where the ego steps in to try to understand or take control. Sometimes that ego energy is very healthy, and the healthy energy is where we're confident in ourselves and we have strong boundaries, we understand who we are, and we just want to be a better version of ourselves, whereas the lower or unhealthy ego can perceive competition, can think that someone is trying to compete with you or be better than you or do what you're doing, and that is a very limited perception because chances are that's not the case most of the time. Again, people are doing what they need to do based on their own experiences, their own journey, their own desires, their own wants. So with this Leo energy, we're needing to stay conscious and aware of our own perceptions, to step away from anything that's coming across as being all about you, because chances are it's not at all. It isn't at all about what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're choosing. It's more about what other people are determining is best for them. And that's something we have deeply been working through and working with as Saturn has been moving through Aquarius. And Saturn in Aquarius continues to bring our attention to our responsibilities and commitments to others. And as we move through this Leo season, there's going to be a push-pull as the planets oppose Saturn in Aquarius, where there's things that maybe you've always done for others, and now Leo energy is bringing you back into what you want, what you need, and it also brings you into what your solar plexus, what your own energy system is needing for you to be strong in yourself, as well as to take care of your own needs from a healthy place. Now, it's interesting because I'm also seeing how that energy can beautifully connect with the heart chakra, where there can be an energy stream here that the solar plexus life force infuses the heart chakra, expands and opens up what you're ready to grow or develop that maybe you've been sitting with. And that's because as we have moved through Cancer season, Cancer energy brings our focus to the heart, our needs, what we need to receive, what we want to receive, what we haven't received, perhaps revealing more of those vulnerabilities, but then shows you how to grow the heart energy authentically and easily, how to understand that if you want something or you're feeling it, like you're feeling that energy moving through you, there's a reason why. And I feel like now the energy stream connects to the solar plexus of Leo, and there's a strengthening of the heart, a strengthening of what you want that can help you declare it. Because especially Mercury in Leo, there is the energy of declaring and claiming what you want, what you need, and then doing so to the universe or with the universe, meaning making it clear to the universe that you have greater certainty around what you want in your life, what you need to receive, where you need to feel supported, and being strong in this part of yourself that knows that things are working in your favor, coming together, that yes, there are many, many moving parts at this time, But if you ground in and connect to that place of internal power, you also know you can draw things to you. You can create. And I think that part of what Leo energy is learning is how to co-create with the universe, where in one consciousness of Leo, it can feel like it's all on you to create exactly what you want. But the expansion of the Leo consciousness is in the co-creation abilities with the universe, with other energies that show you how your energy is beautifully supported in the universe at large, meaning how your light is supported, how your energy is supported. So I feel like we're stepping into some encouraging energies in Leo season, although it is going to be a wild ride at times and even quite turbulent. So this will be interesting, and we'll continue to discuss these energies in these Wednesday podcasts. Now, on that note, just a quick heads up that there will not be a Monday podcast on July 25th, but there will be the Wednesday podcast on July 27th. And I will be back the beginning of August 1st, for that next Monday podcast. Now, on that note, we are approaching August, and the August monthly soul growth astrology programs are now ready for you. Those are the 4 webinars going through all the main energies of the month, and you can get it for $11 with coupon code Virgo. We look at this very dynamic Aquarius full moon, and then we move into the precision and healing powers of the Virgo new moon towards the end of the month. So the link is below this podcast if you want to get a heads up on what's coming in August, as well as how the energies are working with you throughout the month. I also wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to those of you who have bought my new book, Awakening Astrology. It's been wonderful to hear your feedback, how it's supported you, how it's helped you, what you're learning about yourself in a new way. And as always, that is one of the ongoing gifts of astrology, is that we can see things in a new way or in a new light. And I hope that the book is supporting you in that. Also, it is available as an audiobook now. So if you prefer to listen, or you prefer to drive or walk or live your life through audiobooks, please check out the audiobook version of Awakening Astrology. And I hope that that also supports you in hearing some new messages or exactly what you're meant to connect with in your own natal astrology chart. As always, thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Please check out my YouTube channel, where you'll also find more astrology videos, including the Leo new moon chart video, where we discuss the energies of that lunar expression, and I guide you in what to look for in your own chart. That is on YouTube. So I will see you back here very soon. Have a beautiful week ahead, and I hope you enjoy this entry into Leo season as we move through these ongoing dynamic energies of 2022. Thank you so much, and I'll see you back here soon.